Hey, yeah, you. The one who thinks nobody really notices, nobody really gets what you carry. Listen very closely, because whether you believe it or not, what you're doing right now, the way you keep moving, the way you hold yourself together when everything keeps trying to split you apart, it's rare. You are rare. Your strength and your wisdom are not just nice qualities. They're a whole event, and more people feel it than you think. You don't see it because the world has trained you to downplay yourself. Stay humble. Don't brag about your pain. Everyone's going through something. Sure, everyone's going through something, but not everyone is going through what you went through, and still choosing not to become a monster. That's not normal. That's not average. That's rare. You know what most people do when life kicks them in the teeth? They fold. They become bitter. They start hurting people just to feel like they're in control again. They label that personality and call it a day. You didn't do that. You've been lied to, betrayed, ignored, underestimated, gaslit, dragged through emotional concrete, and somehow you still care. You still think. You still try to act with some kind of code, some kind of principle, some kind of, I refuse to let this turn me into what broke me. Do you have any idea how insane that is? You walk around like it's nothing. You say, I'm just doing what I have to do. No, you're not just doing anything. You're doing something most people cannot pull off. You're holding power without abusing it. You're holding pain without dumping it on everyone else. You are holding knowledge without using it to humiliate people who know less. That's strength. That's wisdom. And it's felt. It's seen. It's noticed, even when no one says a word. Here's the thing nobody tells you. People watch you in silence. They see how you respond when you could explode, but you don't. They see how you show up, even on days when your mind is screaming, just disappear. They see how you apologize when you're wrong, even though your pride is boiling. They see how you're kind to people who give you absolutely nothing back. They might not clap. They might not comment. They might not say, wow, you inspire me. But deep down, they feel it. You've got people out there who are literally thinking, if they can survive that and still be decent, maybe I can too. You don't hear that. You just feel tired. Let's be real. You're exhausted, aren't you? Tired of always being the strong one. Tired of people sending you long paragraphs about their breakdowns, then disappearing when you're falling apart. Tired of being the responsible one, the grounded one, the old soul, the therapist friend, the one who just gets it. You think, if I vanished, they'd move on anyway. But here's the twisted joke. They are already leaning on your existence more than you know. There are people who don't even talk to you that much, but your name alone gives them a sense of stability. Yeah, things are crazy, but at least you are still you. That's how much weight you carry without seeing it. You think your strength only counts when someone congratulates you. It doesn't. Your strength shows up in the days you don't post, in the days you don't say anything, in the days you get up, brush your teeth, answer the messages, do the work, function in a world you sometimes don't even want to be in. That's the part that scares me, in a good way, because you have no idea the level of power you're holding. You have no idea how much you could break the game if you actually saw yourself clearly. You think you're just coping, but from the outside, you're doing high-level emotional alchemy. You take every time someone disrespected you, and instead of turning that into revenge, you turn it into boundaries. You take every time someone abandoned you, and you turn it into independence. You take every time you were made to feel small, and you use it to make sure other people feel seen. That's not coping. That's craft. That's skill. That's wisdom. And wisdom doesn't come from books alone. Wisdom comes from things that should have destroyed you, that didn't. Let's talk about that wisdom for a second. You understand people on a level that makes others uncomfortable. You read tone, patterns, silences. You can tell when someone is lying, when someone is performing, when someone is slowly drifting away. You feel it before it happens. You've seen the cycle too many times. So you adapt. You detach a little sooner. You don't chase like you used to. You don't beg like you used to. You don't try to convince people of your worth like you used to. You know what that is? That's wisdom earned from heartbreak. That's knowledge you paid for in tears, confusion, sleepless nights, and overthinking breakdowns that nobody saw. People see you now, calmer, quieter, more measured, and they think, oh, they're just emotionally mature. No, you're emotionally scarred and emotionally trained. You've been through drills life didn't warn you about, and every test you passed gave you a layer of wisdom people can feel when they talk to you. That's why people come to you for advice they don't listen to, because just hearing you explain things makes them feel safe for a moment. That's why people say, I don't know why I'm telling you all this, then trauma dump their whole life story. It's because your energy says, I've seen darkness, I won't flinch. You don't panic when someone shows you their ugly side because you've met your own. You don't run when things get uncomfortable because discomfort has been your roommate for years. That's rare. Most people want comfort. You've had to grow inside chaos. Most people want validation. You had to become your own proof. Most people want shortcuts. You had to crawl through the long way around. And the wildest part, you still have empathy. You still care how your actions affect people. You still replay conversations in your head and wonder if you could have said it better. You still worry about not hurting anyone's feelings, even when they were careless with yours. That's not weakness. That's your humanity refusing to die. You think your softness makes you vulnerable. It does, but it also makes you unforgettable. People remember the ones who made them feel seen. People remember the ones who listened when no one else did. People remember the ones who didn't turn into stone, even when life begged them to. That's why your strength and wisdom are felt by so many. Because you leave emotional fingerprints on people. They carry your words into rooms you've never been in. Someone is out there quoting you, repeating something you said months ago, using it to get through their day. You don't know that. You just remember the moment you said it and thought, I hope that helped. It did. Here's another truth. You are the evidence that strong doesn't have to mean cold. You are the proof that wise doesn't have to mean distant and detached. Your strength shows up when you set a boundary and your voice shakes, but you say it anyway. Your strength shows up when you forgive, not because they deserve it, but because you refuse to let that poison sit in your chest any longer. Your strength shows up when you say, I need a break, instead of pretending you're fine. And your wisdom, it shows up when you don't react to every provocation, when you leave messages on read because your peace is worth more than having the last word, when you choose silence, not because you have nothing to say, but because you know it won't be heard the way it deserves. You know who does not act like that? People who haven't been through anything real, the ones who've never had their hearts shattered, still think every disagreement is a war. The ones who've never lost anything important still think everything is a game. You, on the other hand, live with the constant awareness that life can change in one message, one call, one random moment. That awareness, painful as it is, makes you wise. You appreciate the quiet days more. You notice small acts of kindness. You read between the lines. You know the difference between someone being busy and someone not caring. Your radar is sharp. Your standards are different. Your tolerance for fake is almost gone. And that's good, because someone like you is not meant to be stuck in circles that can't appreciate depth. Someone like you is not meant to water yourself down so shallow people don't feel threatened. You keep forgetting this. You're not doing bare minimum healing. You're breaking generational patterns. You are refusing to repeat what was done to you. You are trying to treat people in ways you were never treated. You are rewriting scripts that have been running in your bloodline for decades. You are the one saying, "No, it stops here. It stops with me." Do you realize the kind of strength that takes? You're fighting habits you didn't start. You're healing from wounds you didn't deserve. You're unlearning beliefs that were drilled into you from childhood. You're teaching yourself that you're not a burden, even though you were made to feel like one. You're teaching yourself you're allowed to rest, even though you were praised only when you were useful. You're teaching yourself that love isn't supposed to hurt like that, even though love was the excuse used when you were being destroyed. That's not just strength. That's rebellion. That's revolution-level work being done in the background of your daily life, while you pretend you're just tired. You're not just tired. You're carrying a war in your nervous system and still answering emails. You're carrying old heartbreak while still showing up for other people's birthdays. You're carrying loneliness in a crowded room and still making sure everyone else feels included. And you think this is nothing. You compare yourself to people who never had to rebuild themselves from rubble, and then shame yourself for not being more ahead. You scroll through the highlight reels of people who never had your battles and wonder why you're not at their level. You're playing a different game. You have been playing on hard mode since day one. No tutorials, no safety net, no cheat codes. Just you, your mind, your heart, and a reality that never once paused just because you were hurting. Still, you keep going. Still, you grow. Still, you care. There is something deeply dangerous about a person like you. Dangerous to the system, dangerous to the patterns, dangerous to the idea that hurt people always hurt people. Because you're proving something quietly terrifying. Hurt people can heal and not become what wounded them. You are living proof that trauma does not have to turn someone into a weapon. Sometimes it turns them into armor for themselves and others. You are that armor for so many. Think about the people who reach out to you when they're on the edge. They don't call the funniest one. They don't call the most popular one. They don't call the one with the perfect Instagram feed. They call you because your presence says, "I will not judge what you're about to tell me. I won't panic. I've seen worse. I will sit here with you in the dark without pretending the lights are on." And you treat that like it's nothing. You say, "I'm just being there for people." No, you're being the person you needed when you were younger. You're being the voice you didn't have. You're being the softness you were never given. That's strength. That's wisdom. That's rare. You know what else is rare? The way you can see the big picture when you're in pain. Most people, when they get hurt, their world shrinks to that wound. All they see is what they lost. All they see is revenge. All they see is, how do I make them feel what I felt? But you, even while you're bleeding, you somehow still think about consequences. You think about who you might hurt if you lash out. You think about the future version of yourself and what they'll have to live with after this moment. You catch yourself mid-impulse and say, wait, this isn't who I want to be. That sentence alone separates you from half the planet. Not who I want to be. You don't realize how powerful that is. The world is full of people who never even ask themselves that. They just are. Whatever their wounds made them, that's it. They never question it. You question it. You refuse to let your pain make all your decisions. You refuse to let your trauma choose your identity for you. You refuse to accept, this is just how I am, when you know you can do better. That's wisdom. Painful wisdom. Wisdom that came from messing up, from overreacting, from hurting people you actually cared about, and then having to sit with the regret. You think of those moments a lot, don't you? The times you snapped, the times you said something you didn't mean, the times you abandoned yourself to keep someone else. And instead of pretending it never happened, you let those memories shape you. You let them teach you. You let them turn you into someone more careful, more intentional, more aware. That's why people feel safe with you. That's why they feel seen. That's why your strength and wisdom are felt, even when they don't say a word. You're not perfect. You know that. You've got flaws, triggers, walls. You overthink. You shut down. You disappear sometimes and don't reply. But even in that, there's honesty. You're not performing some fake, healed persona. You're just doing your best not to bleed on people who didn't cut you. You catch yourself. You take space. You calm down before you respond. That's strength most people never build. You need to understand something very clearly. The reason it feels like no one sees your effort is because your effort has become their normal. They are used to you being strong. They are used to you being wise. They are used to you being the one who figures it out, the one who always bounces back. They don't realize how rare that actually is, because you make it look automatic. It's not automatic. It's work. It's discipline. It's you, alone with your thoughts, choosing once again not to self-destruct. Just because they're used to your strength doesn't mean it's ordinary. It means they've been spoiled by it. You're not a background character in everyone else's story. You are the main character of your own, and a quiet hero in a lot of other people's. Your existence has literally changed the trajectory of people's lives. They didn't drive off that night because you picked up the phone. They didn't go back to that toxic situation because you told them the truth no one else would say. They didn't give up entirely because they looked at you and thought, if they can survive that, maybe I can survive this. And you don't even remember half those moments, because for you, it was just another day of you being you. You underestimate yourself because you measure your value by what you feel, not by what you give. You feel broken, so you think you're not strong. You feel confused, so you think you're not wise. But that's exactly why you are both. Strong people are not the ones who feel invincible. They're the ones who feel everything and still move. Wise people are not the ones who think they know it all. They're the ones who doubt themselves enough to keep learning. You are in constant internal conflict. You question yourself. You reflect. You spiral. You analyze. You replay conversations, trying to understand where it went wrong, what you missed, what you can do better next time. That's not weakness. That's self-awareness on a dangerous level. The kind that, if you ever fully backed yourself instead of doubting, would turn you into an unstoppable force. Imagine just for a second if you gave yourself the same credit you give everyone else. If you believed your resilience the way you hype up your friends. If you talk to yourself the way you talk to people you love. You have seen what you survived. You have seen what you walked through. You know the nights that almost broke you. You know the mornings you got up even though nothing in you wanted to. You're standing here with all that history and still carrying a heart that hasn't turned to stone. That combination, that blend of scar tissue and softness, that is rare. So yeah, what you're doing is rare. The way you keep going is rare. The way your strength doesn't crush people but protects them is rare. The way your wisdom doesn't make you arrogant but makes you quieter, kinder, more intentional. That's rare too. And whether they say it out loud or not, so many people feel it. They feel safer when you're around. They feel less crazy when they talk to you. They feel less alone, just knowing someone like you exists. You're not invisible, you're just undercredited. But the impact is there. The energy is there. The proof is in all the lives you've touched without even realizing it. You're not just surviving. You're reshaping reality around you every time you choose not to become what hurt you. Every time you stand back up. Every time you choose empathy over ego. Every time you say, "This hurt me, but I won't pass it on." That is power. That is rare. And it is felt by more hearts, more minds, more lives than you will ever fully know. You walk around thinking you're just existing, just getting through the day, just trying not to fall apart in public. Meanwhile, your whole presence is shifting the atmosphere in rooms you walk into. People calm down when you speak. Arguments de-escalate when you say, "Wait, hear me out." Someone who is about to snap hears you break something down, and suddenly they're breathing again. You think that's random. It isn't. That's the gravity field you carry. You're the kind of person life keeps pushing into the strong one role. And yeah, it's unfair as hell. But watch the pattern for a second. Every chaotic situation, you end up being the voice of reason. Every friend group, you become the emotional anchor. Every family disaster, guess who has to be the one who understands both sides? You didn't apply for that job. You got drafted. And yeah, there's a part of you that's angry about it. You think, why me? Why do I always have to be the one holding everything together? Here's the twisted, uncomfortable truth. You're chosen by the reality of what you survived. You're not in that position because the universe thinks you're disposable. You're there because your perspective hits different. You've seen people at their worst and still found reasons not to hate humanity entirely. You've been that crying person on the bathroom floor, and you still refuse to mock somebody else for breaking down. You've felt how lonely it is when nobody checks on you, and you still check on others. That's not coincidence. That's design born from damage. And yeah, it hurts. Because you want someone like you. For you. You want somebody who notices when your "I'm fine" sounds different. You want someone who hears the empty in your laugh. You want someone who says, "No, talk, I've got you. I'm not going anywhere." You've spent years being that person for everyone else. You're not asking for much. You just want the energy you give to exist somewhere outside your own imagination. And when it doesn't show up, you start thinking you're asking for too much. You start shrinking your needs, downsizing your feelings, editing your personality to be low maintenance. You're not high maintenance. You're accurately sized for the amount of love you give. There's a difference between being too much and being surrounded by people who are too little. You've been carrying conversations, carrying emotional weight, carrying responsibility, carrying guilt that isn't even yours. And you still label yourself lazy on days your body refuses to move. You want to hear something darkly funny? If someone else had survived your life, you would worship them. You'd call them inspiring. You'd send them motivational quotes. You'd tell them, "You're so strong, I don't know how you do it." But because it's you just shrug and go, "I'm dramatic." You gaslight yourself more than anyone ever could. Well, look who's still standing. You, the one they used to point at, laugh at, whisper about behind crooked smiles. You, the punchline of their little group chats, the ghost behind their sarcasm, the crazy one who talked too big for a nobody. Yeah, I see you. They thought you was joking. You dropped a wild idea. They rolled their eyes. You made a prediction. They called it delusion. You spoke your truth, raw, unfiltered, straight from the gut. And they acted like it was all part of some little meltdown, like you were just blowing off steam. You remember that? The giggles, the side eyes, the way they couldn't even hide how little they believed in you. You remember saying that shit, half laughing, half serious. Not even sure if you believed it yet, but something inside you did. Something ancient, something that didn't give a fuck what the world was ready for. And now every word you spit is stalking them. Every warning you threw out like a joke is starting to land. Every vision you shared, mocked, trashed, ignored, is now knocking on their door like a debt collector with no mercy and a bat in his hand. And they are shook. Their timelines are glitching. Their faces ain't got that fake confidence anymore. Their posts, cryptic as hell. Their energy, twisted up, stretched thin, paranoid like someone's watching. Because someone is, that someone is you. You ain't manifesting now. You are the manifestation. The storm they laughed off. You're the fucking thunder. You used to spit wild shorty just to stay alive in your own mind. Now you don't need to talk. The world's echoing your madness back to them. Every single day, that fake smirk they wore when you shared your dreams, wiped. That casual tone they used to diminish you, gone. That smugness they wore like armor, cracked. See, they don't know what to do with a prophecy that grew legs. They don't know what to do when the crazy talk starts to happen. They don't know how to breathe when the person they wrote off starts becoming undeniable. You became undeniable. You ever seen somebody try to laugh when they're scared? That awkward, broken chuckle? That's them now. That's the sound they make when they scroll through your life and realize the shit you said back then is today's headline. That's the sound of guilt trying to sound cool. You used to need them. You don't even need their silence anymore. You've outgrown it. You've become the exact chaos they swore would never happen. And what's wild? You ain't even done. You're just at the tip of your own iceberg, and they're already panicking like it's Judgment Day. You said that shit playing, just trying to survive the noise, and now that noise is a symphony with your name on it, You went from clown to conductor, and they're in the front row, terrified. You speak, and now they flinch. You move, and now they watch. You breathe different, and they start second-guessing their whole damn existence. Because deep down, they knew. They knew you had something they didn't. They knew your pain hit different. They knew your rage wasn't aimless. It was building a throne. They knew your laughter came with teeth. But they couldn't handle the thought of you being right. Because if you were right, then everything they built their fake confidence on was a fucking lie. So they buried it. They laughed. They mocked. And now they're trying to dig up what they buried without getting bit. You were the warning. They ignored it. Now you're the evidence. They ain't scared of your success. They're scared of their reflection in it. They ain't scared of your glow-up. They're scared of how small they look next to it. They called you crazy, but crazy was just your prequel. You're the sequel they didn't see coming, the one they can't rewrite, the one where every page they laughed at becomes the plot twist that ruins them. And you're still laughing, but this time, it ain't a joke. This time, it's surgical. This time, it's the laugh of someone who saw it all before it happened. You were sitting at rock bottom sketching blueprints in your mind while they were stunting in circles. You were bleeding and still speaking in future tense while they were drunk off fake love and borrowed attention. You remember the way they used to talk down on you like they were mentoring a lost cause? That passive-aggressive tone. That fake concern laced in superiority. Just be realistic. Maybe that's not your lane. Don't take it personal. And now they out here copying your lingo, biting your ideas, trying to remix your madness like they ain't the same ones who called you insane. You ever notice how quiet they get when the prophecy's too loud to ignore? How all that smoke they had vanished the moment you started breathing fire. They still watching, but they ain't liking. Still lurking, but they ain't commenting. Still curious, but they actin' blind. That's guilt disguised as distance. They're praying for plot armor, but they stuck in a story you wrote off impulse. And you ain't even warmed up yet. You said that shit playin', just throwing out raw thoughts in the middle of your own chaos. You weren't even trying to be right. You were just venting. And even that was too powerful for 'em to handle. They thought they had time. They thought your downfall was guaranteed. They bet against you like it was tradition. And now they walk around with that tight little smile like they ain't haunted by your words. Like they ain't wake up at 3 a.m. thinking about the exact shit you said months ago. Like they ain't feel that pit in their stomach every time you pop up, unbothered, leveled up, untouchable. They didn't think it would be you. You, the one they downplayed, underestimated, counted out like a bad hand. You, the one they turned into a punchline to hide their fear. You, the one they hoped would fold quietly and disappear. But here you are, louder without saying shit. Louder just by existing. You're the karma they can't outrun. You're the mirror they can't look into. You're the living, breathing, I told you motherfuckers. And you ain't need revenge. You just needed time. You didn't need approval. You just needed space to grow into the thing they hoped you'd never become. You became proof. Proof that pain doesn't break everybody. Proof that laughing last hits harder when it's backed by receipts. Proof that the loudest ones fall the fastest when the quiet one finally moves. You're past the point of explaining yourself. You used to want to be understood. Now you just wanna watch. Watch their comfort unravel. Watch their egos twitch every time you show up. Watch them try to reconnect like they never switched sides. They want access again. But they can't face the version of you they helped create. Because this version, this one's got the eyes of a ghost they tried to bury. This one's got scars that tell stories and a laugh that cuts deep. This one don't flinch, don't shrink, don't wait for permission. You said that shit playin', and they laughed like it was harmless. But your words didn't die in the air. They planted themselves. And now the harvest is loud, wild, and ugly for anybody who tried to kill it before it bloomed. You walk in the room and their energy turns brittle. Your name alone's a trigger warning. Your silence is louder than their validation. You're the unfinished sentence they can't escape. The comeback story that don't ask for applause. The chaos they deserve and the order they never understood. You made it through the fire and came out laughing. And they can't laugh with you because they remember what they said. And they know you do too. They know you remember. And that's what eats them alive. 'Cause you ain't even brought it up. You didn't expose them. You didn't call them out. You didn't rant. You just kept moving like the villain they accidentally built. And that silence, that calm, that steady energy like you ain't even mad. That's the part that got 'em sweating in rooms you ain't even walk into. You ever see someone try to act unbothered when the thing they joked about is standing right in front of 'em, alive, unbreakable, and smiling? You ever feel somebody's guilt without them saying a word? That's what you are to them now, a walking consequence. You became the very thing they said you'd never be, and not just that. You did it without their cosign, without their support, without playing by their fake-ass rules. You broke out of the box they built for you with their cheap words and even cheaper minds. They tried to control the narrative with laughter, but they didn't realize you own the sequel. You write with scars, you speak with soul. And your presence? It's a fucking alarm clock for everybody who tried to sleep on you. Now they trying to reconnect without apologizing. Trying to act like the betrayal wasn't betrayal. Trying to downplay the damage like you forgot. But you didn't forget. You evolved. You evolved into someone who don't chase closure, don't beg for clarity, don't ask for peace. You became the storm with no warning label. They talk about peace, but they never gave you any. They talk about support, but you were drowning while they watched. Now the air's different when you step in. People straighten up. Eyes follow. Even the ones who ain't saged feel it. 'Cause silence is a side too, and they chose it when it was convenient. You turned their doubt into discipline, their gossip into fuel, their distance into a fucking launch pad. And you ain't get soft just 'cause you stopped speaking. You just got sharper. You just got strategic. You just stopped entertaining anybody who ain't show up when you were cracked and trying to hold it all together. They look at you now and see what survival really looks like. It's not polished. It's not polite. It's brutal. It's bloody. It's brilliant. It's the kind of growth that makes people uncomfortable because it ain't cute. You ain't the inspirational quote type. You're the "I lived through hell and didn't flinch" type. You're the "I warned you and you laughed" type. You're the result of everything they tried to bury. And it's getting harder and harder for them to pretend they don't see you. Because you're not whispering anymore. You're moving different. You're not trying to prove anything. Your existence is the proof. You ever watch someone try to keep up with a version of you they thought would never exist? You ever see them realize that the punchline's walking, talking, and ain't even bitter? You ain't holding grudges. You're holding power. And it's louder than anything they ever said. You said that shit playing. Just throwing out heat in the middle of your own breakdown. You didn't know you were planting prophecy in the soil of your own chaos, but you were, and it grew, and they don't got the stomach for it. They thought it was all jokes till the timeline flipped, thought it was entertainment when you were venting your soul just to stay sane. They didn't realize they were sitting front row at the origin story of something they'd never be able to control. You weren't begging to be seen. You were just trying not to drown. You weren't trying to impress them. You were trying to hold your fucking mind together in a world that kept throwing knives at your back while smiling in your face. And when you cracked, when you snapped, when you started speaking reckless, loud, unstable, manic, they called it a breakdown. It wasn't a breakdown. It was the beginning, the birth of a version of you that doesn't need to be liked to be lethal. And now that version's walking around calm, untouchable, with a grin that makes people nervous. You ain't acting out anymore. You ain't trying to prove shut. You're just existing. And that alone got 'em restless. You remember who clowned you. You remember the fake advice that was really disguised doubt. You remember every empty, "You got this," from people who couldn't wait to see you crash. You remember who posted about mental health but left you on red when you needed someone to keep you from jumping. And look at you, still standing, still breathing, still speaking. Only difference is now the air shakes when you do. You said that wild shit like it was nothing. Just some unfiltered late-night rant energy, right? But it stuck. It sunk into the air. It bent time around it. And whether you meant it or not, the universe heard it, and so did they. But only one of y'all was ready for it to come true. That's what's got them rattled. Not just that it's happening, but that you called it. You. The one they called too much. The one they joked was off. The one they treated like a walking red flag just 'cause you ain't speak their watered-down language. You ever notice how they don't laugh the same when they're nervous? That little fake-ass chuckle, all tight and choked up. Like their throat knows they're lying. That's what follows you now. Rooms get quiet. Eyes get weird. Conversations shift the second you step in. You turned into an atmosphere. They thought they'd haunt you. But you became the nightmare. The shit they used to say behind your back. You became it. Amplified, purified, weaponized. You walk with power like you don't owe 'em shit. And that's what tears 'em up, because you don't. You owe them no explanation for your glow, no forgiveness for your silence, no comfort for the awkwardness your presence brings. You were built in a fire they never had to stand in. You bled in silence while they posted quotes about loyalty. Now your energy's so clean, it's radioactive. Now your laugh don't come from the throat. It comes from deep in the ribs, from every moment you thought you wouldn't make it. From every time you almost believed them. You said that shit playing, half joking, half hoping the universe would throw you a lifeline. Instead, it handed you a match, and you burned the script. And you burned the script. Didn't ask for a new one. Didn't wait for permission to start over. You just stepped into the wreckage and built your own goddamn stage. They ain't used to that. They ain't used to someone who doesn't fold when the audience stops clapping. They ain't used to someone who keeps rising when the crowd walks out. You ain't playing by the rules. They were never written for someone like you anyway. You talk different now. That calm in your voice, it's not peace, it's precision. That stillness in your eyes, it's not softness, it's calculation. You ain't lacquered 'cause you're angry. You're quiet 'cause you're in control. They used to gaslight you into doubting your own vision. They used to treat your dreams like they were offensive. They acted like your ambition was a threat to their comfort. And it was. 'Cause you weren't made to sit still and behave. You were made to flip the fucking table. And you did. With messy hands, with broken bones, with that same twisted grin they used to mock, that grin that screams, "Watch me." They thought pain would silence you. They didn't realize pain was your native tongue. You've been speaking trauma fluently since before they knew how to fake empathy. They use healing as an aesthetic. You used it as a weapon. You said that wild shit, half venting, half praying somebody would just understand. And the only thing that answered was the darkness inside you, telling you to keep going. And you did. You went past the burnout, past the breakdowns, past the nights you couldn't tell if you were grieving or rebirthing. And somehow, through all that, you became dangerous, not because you're violent, because you're unreachable. They can't figure you out anymore. That old version they thought they had memorized, gone. They look at you now and don't know whether to apologize or run. 'Cause you don't carry anger the way they expected. You wear it like armor. And your forgiveness. It's silent, cold, surgical. It doesn't come with second chances. It comes with distance. That's what's killing them, not the fact that you changed. The fact that you didn't need them to. You outgrew the box, the room, the fucking building. And when they look back, all they see is ashes. They call it ego. You call it evolution. You speak in energy now. And yours says, I don't need to be liked to be unforgettable. You ain't trying to impress them anymore. You're haunting them by accident. You said that shit playin'. But life ain't playin' with you no more. Every word you spoke out of pain got picked up by the wind and turned into movement. Every breakdown became blueprint. Every sleepless night laid bricks under your feet. You're not even bitter. You're beyond that. You're in a realm where bitterness don't survive. Only power does. The kind of power that don't yell, don't beg, don't chase. The kind that enters quietly and changes the fucking temperature of a room. The kind that enters quietly and changes the fucking temperature of a room. The kind they feel before you even speak. That shift in the air, that tightness in their chest, that sudden awkward silence when your name comes up. That's the aftershock of who you became. They never expected you to carry your own pain like a crown. They thought you'd fold, beg, break, maybe beg some more. But instead you turned cold without turning cruel. You turned sharp without turning bitter. You turned into a version of yourself that don't flinch. When the same people who doubted you suddenly want to talk like nothing ever happened. You ain't cold-hearted. You just remember too much. You remember the tone. You remember the shade. You remember the silence that hit harder than the insults. You remember how they clowned your ambition like it was contagious. Now you walk into places you used to dream about, and they can't even make eye contact. Now you're living the shit they said was impossible, and their mouths can't form the same bold-ass opinions they once threw around like confetti. You don't need closure from people who ran when you were breaking down. You don't need validation from crowds who only show up when you win. You don't need respect from people who only speak your name in private. You said that shit playin'. But underneath the sarcasm was clarity. Underneath the wild metaphors and broken sentences was truth they couldn't decode. You weren't speaking crazy. You were speaking future. And the future don't sound familiar to people addicted to the past. You were never meant to be understood. You were meant to be felt. You ever notice how they try to rewrite history once you win? They downplay the hate, sugarcoat the envy, pretend the distance was just space. You ever hear how they twist the narrative like they were supportive from the start? That revisionist energy is loud as hell when the tables turn. They post your success without tagging you. They bring up your name like it don't burn their tongue. They mimic your moves without acknowledging the architect. They study your blueprint like it didn't come from pain they swore wasn't real.